If you love collecting and reading comic books as much as I do, you are in the right place. I'm Comic Man Andy, and this is the Comic Man Andy Comic Cave and Comic Dojo. And it's new comic book day, and this is our live show. Get ready to hang out. Let's talk comic books for a while. And if you're watching this on the replay, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, hit that follow and some subscribe button, and look forward to more content every week. We've got a couple of big things to talk about tonight. We stayed within budget for the week. We were really happy with that. But I got to admit, I am emotionally spent after last night's episode of Ahsoka. There will be no spoilers on tonight's show about Ahsoka. I will just say that if you're not watching it, you're missing out. And if you're waiting till the end to binge it, you're going to be emotionally wrecked when you're done. Oh, my Lord. Lots of good stuff. I'm just kind of spent. So we're here to regroup, regain some energy, get with the comic book community. We're going to do our usual live show. We're going to hit up the chat. We're going to go over comic books. We're going to talk about news and events. Then we're going to hit up the chat again. Then we're going to go over the books again one more time as people show up on the back end of it. And Locker says he didn't watch it. Locker, you never watch anything, brother. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Happy new comic book day. I'm taking a page out of your book, brother. I'm going to hit up some flea markets this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. Maybe you and I can connect and talk some comic books. That would be great. GT Key Comics is in the house, brother. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. Rob Mitchell, good to see you. You haven't watched it yet either. And that's the resounding response I get from a lot of community members, friends, and family members is they either are not going to watch it right now, they're waiting for it all to come out so they can binge it, or they're waiting to have time to watch Ahsoka Rebels or Clone Wars, and then they can get back on Ahsoka. Either way, you're not going to be disappointed with the show, in my opinion. If you're a Star Wars fan or if you're a fan of Ahsoka, I don't feel like you're going to be disappointed. Good stuff. It's one of those things where this household is we're massive fans of Ahsoka, and we're we're big fans of Star Wars too, but we're massive fans of Ahsoka. So for this to be hitting the screen and for us to be living this on a week to week basis, this is hitting every nerve ending 90s nerve ending for me. Like, anybody remember Sunday Night X-Files? The only thing I disliked about X-Files on Sunday was the next day was Monday and then you had to go to school. But I look forward to it every week, every Sunday night. And then you got done with the episode and there's like, oh, I got to go to bed now on tomorrow's school. But it just twitches away or tings away. It eats away at that nerve of nostalgia, if you will, from the 90s for that week to week episodic TV show. And this has depth. It has emotion. It's I don't even know how to say it. This show is not going to be a review about Ahsoka, but we'll talk about it a little bit more. Ahsoka episode 5 was phenomenal. Cosmic One says, yeah, we won't spoil anything here tonight, but we'll get into the comic books here in a minute. And we'll do our usual thing for Wednesday. I'm just kind of explaining why I'm emotionally spent. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but I cannot believe the sheer amount of content being released on social media platforms in response to last night's episode of Ahsoka. And it's all really positive. Lots of people speaking out to this. This is, enough about that. Josh Oliver, good to see you, man. Hey, comic family and Andy, good to see you, brother. Yes. You'll probably watch it tomorrow. Have enjoyed it so far, Rob says. Buckle up, buckaroo. Get some tissues and get some popcorn, man. I tell you what, flea market, we'll be in Lansing this weekend, then back the next weekend in Paw Paw. I think we're going out west to Paw Paw this weekend and checking some stuff out over there. I heard a tale of an old friend of mine that used to sell comic books at a flea market might be back doing it again after years of hiatus / being retired, if you will. And he stumbled on what appears to be a couple of large family collections and sent me some pictures of some of the original 70s Star Wars stuff that looked like it was in good reader shape. And I got really excited and I'm like, you take cash only? What are we doing now? So I'm thinking about taking an adventure over to where he is setting up shop again and checking that out, which means if I remember to get my phone out and record content, I'm going to upload a 10 to 15 minute flea market haul video. If I buy some stuff, I should buy some stuff. How do you go to a flea market and not buy some comic books if you find good prices? You know what I mean? Ahoy, mates and mermaids. Captain Comics, what is up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. You know about Pink Chew cards? Oh, you mean Pikachu cards or Gotta catch them all. I'm not that old. Don't tell me I'm that old. I can't even remember. Pokemon. You're talking about Pokemon cards, right? Yeah, you got some out of the unit, dude. Yeah, shoot me some pictures. Let's talk. I can help you out. Remember, just like comic books, cards condition is everything. That being said, if you've got something extremely rare, then condition is less of a thing when it comes to rarity. But yeah, you need to do a review show like you did for The Last of Us. I wanted to, and I was kind of leading up to that and creatively. I was like, yeah, I know we can get a panel together. That could be a lot of fun. But with the SAG after strikes, I just don't know how that fits in as being a content creator. I don't have a million followers. I don't have a gazillion followers or anything like that. And I know that a lot of those people that have 100,000, a couple 100,000 followers or close to a million followers think Star Wars Explained. They have voiced how they can stand in solidarity with the SAG after group, and they're navigating it very well and very professionally. And I just think that that's a level of stress that I don't want to take on and accidentally say or do the wrong thing or do the wrong show. And it's not like I'm going to get penalized or anything. We're not here making money. This isn't our career and our job. But in the same fashion, I'm just kind of following suit with what I feel is right for me emotionally and stress wise. And that's just like, I would like to do I have an idea after maybe, but we'll kind of see what happens. Rob Mitchell says Pokemon. Yeah, there it is. My brain is fried. Like I said, emotionally spent after last night's episode. I do want to do another review show. I know the Last of Us crew is going to get back together to review Last of Us when it comes back again for sure. Cosmic One. Absolutely. Yep. Pokemon cards, hit me up. I mean, you can send me images right now and then I'll take a look at them. Like, we're not going to be here all night. You know what I mean? Not going to be here for hours. I can help you out with that. Pretty easy stuff. Let's get into the comic books as people start to filter in. Like we said, we'll do our usual. We hit up the chat, said hi, and thank you to everybody for bringing in some great energy and firing us up as well. And then we'll get into the books next, like we said, and then do some announcements. And speaking of which, I'm going to start with announcements now that some of the more of the people have showed up, and we're 7 minutes in. Promise you we get to some comic books, but tonight's episode title, C3 Needs Your Help. And what does that mean? That's Comics Curing Cancer. And that's the event coming up October 20th to 22nd. And here's the wallpaper. Comics Curing Cancer is the large YouTube community event. And this is in conjunction with American Cancer Society. And there will be a large auction. There will be panels. Think like telethon out of like the 90s. And they used to like fill up the thermometer to reach the goal and that kind of thing. Think large events like that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the large auction is Sunday, and they've got a lot of items that they're going to be putting up. And yeah, that's coming up. So the more we talk about it, the better. Here is a quick little intro talking about that, or giving you some of the pertinent details right now.
Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. Comics Curing Cancer is coming up October 20th through the 22nd, and we need your help. In order to raise the maximum funds and beat our fundraising mark of $22,000 from last year, we need more items. So if you have any slab comics or key comic issues, comic book art, etc., does something that are suitable for an auction that you'd be willing to donate, please reach out to us at Comics Curing Cancer here on Instagram. That's going to allow us to raise our funds and hopefully beat last year's goal or last year's mark of $22,000. Everything is tax deductible. Tax deduction receipts are available. Reach on out to us. Please DM us at Comics Curing Cancer. And thank you so much. We'll see you October 20th through the 22nd over on YouTube.
Yes, again, that's Comics Curing Cancer, October 20th through the 22nd. That was Rob's Fat Stack of Comics right there. We'll be working closely with them to send them a large package. I personally, I'm going to spend this week and this weekend going through the personal collection and going through a lot of the other books that are stacked up that I've kind of him and hawed on. And we're going to be building a care package to go out to be donated to the Comics Curing Cancer auction. So you guys know I collect heavily in Star Wars. Therefore, there's going to be some Star Wars books in there. There's more than likely going to be Marvel books because I collect primarily Marvel books. I'm also going to try to find some DC stuff to send that way as well, so that we're sending a package that can appease pretty much a wide variety of people that could be there hanging out. And raw books, yeah, we're going to send some raw books. We're going to send some collections, a little bit, like cover collection deals, and lots of, a decent box of graded slabs. You know what I mean? We're going to get into that a little bit more, but let's get into the comic books. If that's what you guys are here for, we'll talk new comic books here. More people are starting to show up. Tony Fix, brother, what is up? Thanks for being here, man. He says, boo, simply because Rob was not able to make it to his LCS today. You'll have that happen. I did not make it to the LCS today either. But wait, Andy, how did you get your comic books? I was very lucky that the CEO of the Comic Dojo here was able to run out and pick up my pull list for me. But that also means that what the stuff that I did not have on my pull list that I wanted to pick up, I didn't get a chance to say, hey, hon, pick this up, pick that up. But that means I stayed well within budget, saved a lot of money. And then I turned right around today and blew a crap load of money online for a couple of books that we're going to talk about. We're going to pull up the screen and show you guys that, man, there's some fire books that are coming out. But let's get into these as more people show up into the chat. I'm going to start it off a little bit backwards tonight. We're going to go indie style. And The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 70 is out. And I will continue to be a proponent of rereading this series issue to issue, being able to kind of relive that episodic experience and waiting for the next one to come out. Absolutely love being able to do this and in full color now. So I'm really thankful that they're doing this. And you're like, but wait, it's just another money grab, right? No, this is something near and dear to my heart. This is one of the first big, long series that I really got into. And out of the indie side of things, and it's just really kind of nice to have that nostalgia tickle again, especially with Walking Dead, one of my all-time favorite indie books, along with Saga. But Walking Dead is, what is that, $3.99 additional every other week. That's not much more to relive that. And the series is basically going to fit in a short box, I think. Actually, no, it might not. But either way, I digress. House of Slaughter issue 17 is out. I know a lot of people have kind of poo-pooed about this or written it off or gotten off the bandwagon and stopped reading this. It has picked up some steam after that first arc. And I know even though I'm a couple issues behind, I'm looking forward to getting this. It's Tinian. It's Tinian world building, Tinian story building. So it might not be as action-packed as some people like, but I like that Tinian style of writing. Speaking of other things that I really, really like and I really enjoy, Darth Vader 38 is out. And this is part of that Dark Droids event. Now, I've been very vocal over the last 2 years about how kind of spent or tired I am of Marvel events, crossover events, and other events because I just don't feel like they're as rewarding as they used to be. And I also feel like I'm being pulled into areas and avenues to buy books that I really wouldn't normally read, just to make sure that I'm paying attention, or I've got every corner, nook and cranny of that story or event that's going on. Dark Droids, this has been rewarding. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm super happy with where this is going right now. This has reinvigorated my wanting to read other Star Wars books, and I'm buying everything Star Wars, yeah, but like this is giving me that feeling again of making sure that I want to read it right on New Comic Book Day instead of like, oh, I'll read it tomorrow night, or I'll read it. I push it off a little bit just to stay up with the story. This is fun. Dark Droids 2 was out last week. That was really good. And Dark Droids, Darth Vader 38 is right here. This will be the next book that I read tonight, right after the show here. Locker Crazy saying, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Sorry, them not Pokemon. Still Yu-Gi-Oh. It's surprising how much value Yu-Gi-Oh cards can have. So I see those pictures coming through. We'll get into those in a little bit. And Darth Vader 38, this is the connecting variant, the droid connecting variant. And now this is, I think, the third piece of the connecting variants. Now, granted, I don't usually collect connecting variants all that often. It's just the Star Wars stuff. but I've yet to see Chopper anywhere on here. And now if Marvel does the whole connecting variant set and there's no Chopper on here or Hu Yang, I'm going to be really, really, really upset. Like, two of the best droids going on right now on live action. And if they're not going to be on there, maybe they're keeping it just to droids that are in the story. I can look a little bit deeper in that and dig in and find that out. But I'm seeing a lot of random droids in the background that I really didn't pay a whole lot of attention to during the story. Either way, there better be some damn Chopper on these covers when they come out. You know what I mean? Coming up. How are they going to run 6 maybe? I don't know. We'll figure it out here in a minute. But Clone Wars 15th anniversary. We're still collecting all these. This is Darth Vader 38 again. And I believe in the next 2 to 4 weeks, we get that Ahsoka Clone Wars variant that comes out, and that's going to have a 1 in 100 as well. And that's a book a lot of people have been talking about for a while, to the point where I'm interested. I'm just not $100 or $150 interested. I want to see where that goes. It's a great looking cover. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we're moving right along because we are so close to being done with this. And I will forever regret allowing myself to get into 40 additional covers. 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi. Like I said, I'm buying pretty much everything Star Wars. After this, out of the original 3 movies, I'm not going to buy any of the anniversary variants coming out again, whether it's 41, 42, 43, 44, 45 years. I don't care. I think they've done this to death. I think this is a horse that they've beaten to death way too much. You know how many times have they done anniversary variants for the original movies? Twice over? 2, 3 times over? And 40 additional covers. 40 additional covers. This is just that's half a short box of storage space that I'm taking out just for this running series. Now, last time we had an issue come out, I talked about putting all these together and putting it up on eBay. That's still probably going to be something I'm going to do and just kind of throw it up and see what happens. Somebody might catch a lucky break and score 40 of those covers for $5 or $6. Who knows? But we'll see what happens there. And I'm still on Star Wars yet. Obi-Wan Kenobi 1 is out. And yes, this is just a retelling of the show that we saw on TV. And I get it. So this is one of those series that I'm picking up, but I'm not bothering to read necessarily. What I'm doing with this and where I see the value in this series and the Mandalorian series coming out and Andor or even if they do the Ahsoka series for the Ahsoka show is while my family is watching that show and my young child that's learning how to read is watching that show, we can turn right around and read that story and practice reading. And I think this is going to help bridge that gap as my son continues to get older, where getting from going up from those little golden books on up to the next thing they're doing at school to the next thing to getting into these. And I'm going to give him these sets to read so that when we rewatch these shows together, because he watches all the Star Wars stuff with us, he can sit down and read about it when we're not watching it if he wants to. That's really where I see the value in collecting this series, and I think that's going to be a great thing to bond over. And I think it's a great way to keep my child interested in reading with artwork and learning and expanding that way too. I don't know if we're calling this the movie variant or a show variant or something, but a really cool cover price variant of Obi-Wan there. And it just reminds me of some of the movie variants, the full cover movie variants that I've seen that way back in the day from episode 1, 2, and 3, if I remember correctly. Pretty cool. John's Comics with Kids. What is up, brother? Thanks for being here. Good to see you. And then, yeah, another cover price variant. I do like this cover. I can't remember the artist off the top of my head, but they did a 1 in 100 of this. And now that got me a little wondering a little bit, why are we doing a 1 in 100 of Obi-Wan? We didn't do a 1 in 100 of Mandalorian. We didn't do a 1 in 100 of Mandalorian season 1 or season 2 for that matter. But if you look on League of New Comic Geeks or any other website that's going to talk about all the books that are released this week, there are multiple different titles from Marvel where they did 1 in 100s. And I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen this many 1 in 100s released on 1 week ever in the last 2, 3, 4 years that I've been really buying books on Wednesdays. I think I counted like 4 or 5, maybe even 6. Daredevil had a 1 in 100. Kenobi had a 1 in 100 right off the top of my head. The Werewolf by Night had a 1 in 100 Adam Hughes Virgin variant. Why? Why are we pushing so many copies out. It's money. Yeah, Marvel wants money. They want you to buy the books, but I don't see any LCSs in my area buying enough books to get these. I didn't see this available at my LCS. It may have been, but I highly doubt my LCS bought more than 100 copies of 100 or more of Obi-Wan Kenobi one number issue one. Like I just don't see that many people at my LCS buying this to read it and keep it. I just don't see that happening. But somebody made a comment earlier on we were hanging out somewhere on another show. Maybe it was last night. Rob's Fat Stack of Comics, I think, was chimed in and said it's the online retailers. The online retailers will order as many copies as they need to get as many of those 100s as they want, and then they'll either sit on them or do something with them later. It's like, okay, that makes sense, but then I don't feel like that makes things. I don't know. I don't know why. Like that takes. There are three key things for a book to have value for your collection in the long run. And now, for those of us that buy new comic book day books, we know that it's a rocky road and they're very rarely guaranteed value. But I've learned a very important lesson in the last 3 or 4 years of buying Wednesday books is there are three key things that you really need for a ratio variant to maintain value. If you spend $60 to $100 on a book and you want it to at least maintain that, you got to have good artwork, you got to have good writing, and you have to have something that makes it stand out amongst the crowd of other books, either a first appearance or an origin story, something. It's got to have some meat and potatoes inside of it, along with good writing and good artwork. If it does not have good writing, if it does not have good artwork, and there's no meat and potatoes in the book, a ratio variant's just not going to hold up. Granted, some ratio variants do well based on having a decent cover, but over the long term, have they really held up? Some, not all of them. Not every ratio or not every book is going to be a grand slam. And the market, one of the reasons the market kind of dictates that is scarcity. Scarcity is one of the biggest things too. Market, supply and demand, and then you can simplify that down into scarcity. If retailers are buying tens of thousands of copy of Obi-Wan 1 just to get the 1/100s, that scarcity goes away. It's not hard to find. You know what I mean? It just makes the book just not that much. That's just not going to have the value that you might think. And I've learned that lesson over time. And that's one of the reasons why I love doing this new comic book day show is I've made errors and I've made mistakes and I've learned from them by doing this and held myself accountable by being here and rewatching my episodes. And in the same fashion, I hope that some other people take from this something that's valuable to them. And that means, i.e., when a ratio book hits New Comic Book Day Wednesday, don't buy it at full price. Sit and kind of wait it out. I think just in the last 6 months, that Extreme Venomverse, that pink bubblegum looking cover variant, that anime one, is the only one that comes across that I think was a ratio variant that's held decent value, that got hot at first. And it's still got some value to it, but it's kind of streamlining a little bit. If you wait it out and save your money and don't overpay on all the other ratio variants that end up tanking, you can easily afford to pay market price for a book on eBay. And I've always told myself for years, Andy, the best thing to do is get your books on New Comic Book Day Wednesday, and then you don't have to pay secondary market prices for a book that you could have gotten for half that later on. Well, that's the difference. That's the problem. If you spend 4 years buying every ratio variant of a book that you like, i.e., me, Star Wars, or Something's Killing the Children, or Berserker, things of that nature, if I pay full price on New Comic Book Day every year for 4 years, you know how much money I didn't save if I just would have waited and paid full secondary market for the 1 or 2 or maybe 3 books over 2 years that have held value and have gone up, and then got all of the other ones for drastically cheaper? I would have saved a lot more money. I learned a very important lesson there. And that's kind of why I like talking about New Comic Book Day like this. That being said, I still got a damn ratio variant today, and I still paid $20 for it. I feel like a 1 in 25 for under $25 is something I do want to pick up. It's below ratio. It's a 1 in 25. It's not a big investment. I still stayed within my $50 budget for the week. I was happy. And Obi-Wan Kenobi 1 is the first comic book appearance of Reva, if I remember correctly. Now, granted, it's a comic book after a show and not a comic book before a show. So that first appearance doesn't necessarily seem like it's going to be a key book, right? Uh, who knows how they're going to play things out in the future? I don't know. I absolutely love the cover. And like I said, I see more value in collecting this series more as a bonding, a way to bond with my son. And while he learns how to read and while with this whole family enjoys Star Wars, that's the value that I'm getting out of it. That's really the value that I'm getting on it. And I'm kind of, this is the last Star Wars is the last fandom where I'm allowing myself kind of to be a completionist collector. I've curtailed pretty much almost everything else. I think Something is Killing the Children is the older one, the only other one that I haven't hit that final send on the email to state that I want to kick back to cover it. That being said, let's get into the chat. I see a lot of comments here, but I just was something I wanted to share and say that I've learned over the years is it's much more cost efficient and it's better financially. It's a better financial decision as a comic book collector that wants to maintain a collection, maintain at least what I'm putting into it. You know what I mean? And kind of keep an eye on that. You know, nobody wants to buy a brand new car and lose $40,000 off the lot as you roll off the lot. That's only people that don't care about money don't worry about those kind of things. Like I have more money than they have care and hopes and dreams about stuff like that. They don't worry about that. In the same fashion, we all find value differently in comic books. I find value in the reading. I find value in the covers. I find value in the collecting and completion of collecting of sets. I also am very pleased with if I buy a book for $10 and it's still worth $10 a few years later. That's what I'm talking about. Like I don't want to trash the books. I want to keep them readed. I want to keep them in good reading order and keep that value there. Because there are a lot of books in the personal collection, that we collect that we want to pass down in the family. There's a big Ahsoka collection. You get where I'm going with this. Let's get into the chat here. I've seen lots of comments. Pikachu cards. No, we were talking Yu-Gi-Oh. We're going to get into those Yu-Gi-Oh cards with Locker Crazy after the show here. John made his way in here. Collector's Inventory. Hey, made it. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Good to see you. I hope you're having a great new comic book day Wednesday. Obi-Wan is cooler than all the others. The show or the book, either way. I don't think anything's cooler than Ahsoka right now at this point, but that's just me. I'm partial. Come on, Mama. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Sup, baby? Good to see you. I hope you and the hubby and the mini CEO are doing fantastic. I'll message you some more cute dog pictures later. One of these days, that dog's going to come tumbling down the stairs. You guys are going to get a first appearance right here live one of these days. Josh saying hi. Blue Hellion Comics. Hey, folks. Hope all is well. Good to see you. Hope all is well with you. Old Wolf. Hello, everybody. Good to see you, Old Wolf, man. If you guys don't know Old Wolf, you need to subscribe to Old Wolf and check out his content. And Miss Tootsies, thanks for being here. Good to see you. Hey, everybody. Happy to have you here on Wednesday, bringing good energy. I make errors all the time. And that's why I like being here live. I love the community format of going live with a panel and talking books. But this Wednesday chunk right here has always been near and dear and kind of special to my heart to be here to talk about what I'm doing and then look back sometimes where I make those errors and corrections and talk about them and say, hey, for anybody new to this, err on the side of caution. There's no wrong way to collect comic books, in my opinion. There is certain ways to do it that'll save you a lot of money is what I'm saying there. A lot of other people saying, hi, wait, you guys are getting value out of comics? You kind of, you know what I mean, right? I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying there. Just a joke. But yeah, look at value, the different ways of value, the reading, the artwork, the collecting value aspect of that dopamine hit of completing issues 1 through 10. And there it is, that empty spot from number 8. It is complete and done. That kind of good feelings right there. House of L Comics. Speaking of good vibes, I hope you are doing well, brother. Hope you're keeping all the wheels on the road, all the rubber on the road. You know what I mean? Keeping all those tires pumped full of air and driving safe and sound, man. Yeah, buddy, House of L, I count on you to be here every week to slap me across the face, say I did not buy any DC, and I should have. Yeah, I missed out on some DC reads, but like I said, you're not able to read, or I was not able to actually get to my LCS. So the CEO, my wife, had to run out and pick them up for me. And I really appreciate that because otherwise I would have missed dinner and would have missed the 7 o'clock, the Comic Vets show. Show me what you got. I would have missed that over there. Would have been really pressed for time today. Wheelchair Superhero, what is up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. It's Mysterion429. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Good to see you again. Missed you all. Come on, Mama. We have missed you and Zuni and the mini CEO as well. I hope you guys have had an amazing summer. and look forward to seeing you guys in the chats again. Oh, she's not in school anymore, is she? Graduated, done and gone? Like empty nesters yet? Maybe, I don't know, but we'll see you guys again soon. Yeah, you do, man. You do. We are holding up. Yes, the Junie, the dog that we adopted recently, will be here. I gotta upload some pictures for next week for you guys to see that. Did not get any books today because Batman 1 sold out. Are you serious? Interesting. Like, I know there was talk about a first appearance. I know there was some cool covers. There was a really cool foil cover. And we'll kind of, well, we might not get into that, but I can't believe it sold out. I like using comic books to start fire pits. Hey, I know a lot of people that would follow you on that, but you're just trolling. You're just trolling to troll, man. But I found Spider-Man 361 for $30, dude. That's a good grab, man. That's a good grab. Any fan of Spider-Man or Venom or Carnage, I mean, $30 bucks, $30. Yeah, $30 or $30, man. That's a good grab. Overall, I've reduced my new comic book day sales to the main Star Wars titles and High Republic. Other than that, I'll pick up older books and blanks for characters. Yeah. I'm still reading some indie stuff. I'm still trying to stay in tune with some of the really good DC stuff that's coming out, even if I have to read it digitally. But and then the Marvel stuff, I've cut back on Marvel quite a bit besides Star Wars. How many times are they going to reboot Daredevil? How many times are they going to reboot everything else? What I should have been doing is I should have gotten on the Marvel or the Miles bandwagon and got Miles from the beginning. Miles and Ghost Rider are the two current ongoings in Marvel that I regret not getting on issue 1. Now, Ghost Rider, it seems every month that we're here on Tuesday Comic News Weekly or here today right now on New Comic Book Day, every month it seems like, holy crap, there's a killer Ghost Rider cover. And it's like some of the best covers out. And yet I still didn't buy them. And I told myself this week I was going to pick up issue 18 and I was going to make sure I try to get issues 1 through 17 to complete that run and sit down and read it and get caught up. Lo and behold, it did not make it. Maybe we'll try again this weekend, but either way, I only got Action Comics, Superman, Batman, and Something Killing Children. Now that's it. That Superman title, did you see that? I think it's the David Clark cardstock variant. That looked really good. We talked about that last night on Comic News Weekly. Okay. I was reading that and got really worried until I got to the word clinger. She is a stage 4 clinger. That dog is if you're talking about our dog, that dog is a straight cling monster, just cling wrap right there. Ahsoka was good. Yes, it was. I am still emotionally spent from last night's episode. And the Mets are winning. Have a good day, he says. There you go. Good stuff. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to talk about the other things that we did. What we did is the other things that we did. We stayed in budget here, but we didn't stay in budget today overall. And I'm going to show you guys why here in a second. Now, we picked up about 40, I think it was $48 worth of books from my LCS, 20 of that being just that ratio variant. But do you guys remember the Mike Mayhew Bo-Katan book that we were talking about a week or two ago? We're going to pull this up because that book came out. You guys remember this, right? We're going to set this screen share up really quick. You guys remember talking about this a week or two ago, right? And I told myself I was going to put on my big boy patient unease and wait it out and kind of see what happens. Maybe I just wanted to sit and wait and save up a little bit of money either way. And then if it sold out right away, oh, well, it was going to sell out right away. But what happened is I think 4, 5, 6 days after that, I got an alert, like an email or something like that, or a pop-up somewhere on a website that said, hey, Mike Mayhew Studios, sign up for the newsletter and receive a discount. So that conjoined with this banger of a book that they're pre-selling right now. And I am absolutely in love with this right here. We're going to talk about this. So this is a Mandalorian episode or season 1, issue 5. No, Mandalorian season 2, issue 5. The Mike Mayhew Ahsoka. This is cover of the year for me. I think I really honestly think that I'm not going out on a limb saying that this is cover of the year for me. I'm absolutely in love with this. And I was hemming and hawing because I didn't want to spend $100. I didn't want to spend $80 on the Bo-Katan book. I just didn't want to rifle that out. And then all of a sudden this discount comes through And then I see this, like we talked about this like last week, like they were going to pre-sell this, but they said something about the 15th, I think. I think we had to wait till the 15th. Lo and behold, just today, like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours ago, Mike Mayhew did an Instagram post where you could start pre-ordering it today. So yeah, I went right over to the website. I looked and I'm like, yep, it's $40. It's $40 for the Virgin and the trade. I'm like, all right. And then I go back and I look at the Bo-Katan set. Well, wait a second. The Bo-Katan set's now $50. They bumped that up $10. And I'm like, son of a gun, why did they bump that up $10 for that set? Now, the trade dress limited to 3,000 copies. That's pretty much standard, status quo standard for Marvel. And I'm guessing that the Virgin's limited to 1,000. So they had a print run of 4,000 copies of that book. And with that discount code, I'm like, yes, we're going to order a set of these because we're going to order a set of these. And if we're ordering a set of these, you might as well throw in the Bo-Katan book. I'd love to get that signed by Katie Sackhoff and have that experience at a convention and get it graded. And I'm hoping that this lines up with like Motor City or something local around here where the boys from State of Comics, Peter, and they're there so that we can team up with them and get the book signed and graded. Because Rosario Dawson's going to be on the warpath when it comes to events after Ahsoka. It's going to be tougher to get her signature. We already got one or two things signed from Motors or C2E2, not this year, but last year. And now this book is absolutely a must for us as Ahsoka collectors. And I'm not telling you guys to run out and buy this book right now. I'm telling you that our household as Ahsoka collectors, this is a must-have, and this is cover of the year for us. I bought 2 sets. I'm buying a set to get signed at an event by Rosario Dawson and then get graded with CGC. And then I'm buying, then we bought I'm very, very, very passionate about this cover right now. We bought a set to do so we can get graded and have a set of blue labels and a set of gold labels. And obviously, fingers crossed with the right presser and cleaner, because new books can sometimes still get that wave and that wrinkle, and then you got shipping woes to worry about. Right presser and cleaner, and the right people handling the book for the signatures. Hope to get a set of 9.8s for this, for the Ahsoka Sanctorum wall. And then obviously that gives us more stuff that we can start cycling out and changing it week to week, because Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka is not going anywhere, in my opinion. I feel like they have added at least 2 to 5 more years. Granted, delayed significantly due to the SAG after strikes. So maybe call it even like 4 to 8 years or 4 to 6 years of more Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka before Dave Filoni finishes or completes the story arc of Ahsoka Tano. So I think that's going to be sometime in the next 10 years or less, 4 to 8, whatever, 4 to 6. I don't know. It's speculation. It's just my gut feeling. And I got to go with my gut feeling, which means I want to make sure that we're getting some of this, and I want to make sure that we're getting some of this signed before that story arc ends. Not because it's FOMO, not because I'm chasing, but because what happens is when a character arc peaks and ends and comes to an end, they stop doing what? They stop advertising, they stop showcasing, they stop promoting. Therefore, these actors move on to the next thing for them. Therefore, they might not always be out at Comic Cons and events to do these signings. Therefore, you got to strike while the iron is hot. And as an Ahsoka collector, the iron is definitely hot right now for an Ahsoka collector as far as picking up stuff. Because one of the biggest things that we talk about in the collecting community as collectors is oftentimes books are scarce. Sometimes there are scarce books out there because of print runs, because of damages, because of whatever. So when the iron is hot and Ahsoka's out like this, more and more books come to the market that potentially wouldn't come to the market a year or two ago, or might not come back to market in 4, 5, 6 years. What does that mean? People that are sitting on these books might see the value in selling them because they're getting more money what they paid for them, or because they're getting the attention, or they think that somebody might actually buy in this time. And I've learned that from 20 plus years of collecting Punisher books. Punisher books are hard to find when there's zero Punisher news going on. Some of the ones I'm looking for. Now, granted, Punisher books can be easy to find to a degree, but some of the books when you're trying to complete runs when it comes to high grade stuff, those can be really hard to find. And then the second John Bernthal gets announced, and then they start talking about a show, and then the show hits, all of a sudden you're finding these things. They might not be the prices that I want, but when you haven't seen the book for 5 to 10 plus years, sometimes you got to pony up if you want to be able to play on that field, so to speak. And I'm not talking about spending thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars. I'm talking about Punisher books used to be able to buy CGC graded 9.8s of Punisher books for $30, for 25, $30, because nobody cared about those runs. And even now, not that many people care. But those graded 9.8s for non-keys, just random non-keys that are, if you're trying to complete the set, people ask $100 to $150 for those now. Whereas I started collecting that series and that set in 9.8 simply because you could find them for $20, $30, $40, like cheap. They're not cheap anymore. So you get what I'm saying. Like, I want to strike while the iron's hot and things are coming to market when it comes to Ahsoka books. And this is the standout cover of the year for me. Now, also, I'm very curious and trying to remember, and I'll pull this up right now. Like a lot of other people, I'll utilize Key Collector to kind of remember back and see if this series issue 5 had anything significant going on with it. Issue 3, oh yeah, well, it's not even on Key Collector right now, so I can't even remember. But season 2, issue 3 was the first appearance of Koska Reeves and the first appearance of Axe Wolves, first full appearance of Bo-Katan Kryze in a standard U.S. comic book. So, the show came first, comic book came second. It might not be a lot going on there, but, strike while the iron's hot and the book's cheap, so to speak. And because that doesn't have the scarcity or the market demand yet right now, and who knows, but it's just a gut feeling. I don't know. I'm not saying go out and go buy 10 copies, but I definitely went out and bought a copy of each. So I got the reader copies right there ready to go. Either way, like I said, this is a standout cover for any Ahsoka collector, and damn, it is nice for sure. I want to take a blank sketch variant of Star Wars 1 to Planet Comic Con and got it signed by Claremont, Thomas, Bunn, Enos, because they have all done at least one issue. That's phenomenal idea as well. No, you only for a split second, but we're good. Yeah, I ordered 2 sets. Not gonna lie, ordered 2 sets, and hopefully get those graded soon. Dave Mares, what is up, man? Hey, I hope you're doing well and feeling well. Do I watch baseball? I watch the Tigers when I can. My workload the last 2 or 3 years has been really difficult to see any baseball at all whatsoever. But my cover of the year is the BTC Superman New York Comic Con exclusive. There you go. Nice. FYI, I got 5 slabs and some other stuff ready to box up and send it into C3. This is a perfect opportunity to segue into the announcements of C3 again. What is C3? That's Comics Curing Cancer. That event is this October 20th to the 22nd. Think telethon. Think like, remember the 90s, the telethons that they used to do to raise funds for the American Cancer Society, the ALS, all of the other things. And Jerry. Somebody will remember his last name. He was always on TV with those guys doing the fundraisers. Either way, that's coming up. And we have a little bit of announcement, and here is the intro.
Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. Comics Curing Cancer is coming up October 20th through the 22nd, and we need your help. In order to raise the maximum funds and beat our fundraising mark of $22,000 from last year, we need more items. So if you have any slab comics or key comic issues, comic book art, etc., does something that are suitable for an auction that you'd be willing to donate, please reach out to us at Comics Curing Cancer on here on Instagram. That's going to allow us to raise our funds and hopefully beat last year's goal or last year's mark of $22,000. Everything is tax deductible. The tax deduction receipts are available. Reach on out to us. Please DM us at Comics Curing Cancer. And thank you so much. We'll see you October 20th through the 22nd over on YouTube.
Again, he said October 20th to the 22nd. So mark your calendars. Get ready for a good time and band together and develop some camaraderie with the community as they raise funds for the American Cancer Society via Comics Curing Cancer. So yeah, that's that announcement there. Our other announcements is we've been plugging away at shorts and having fun there and kind of learning the things that are important about shorts. We're almost done with that pack of Punisher guts and gunpowder. I think there's like 5 or 6 or 7 more shorts to upload, and then we're moving on to some Star Wars pack ripping. This past weekend I recorded ripping a couple of hobby boxes, and there's some killer surprises in there, and I can't wait to show those with you guys. So keep an eye on the YouTube shorts and see if those pop up for you guys, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And it's interesting after putting 40 shorts up to see, a couple of views here, and then all of a sudden there's a spike where something gets searched or something gets seen. You're like, oh, wow, that's kind of interesting. And yes, Jerry Lewis is what you guys were talking about, or what I was trying to get at, and you guys brought it up. The telethons or the seminars, not seminars, but telethons. It is a pretty cool video. That video is courtesy of Rob's Comics, with Rob's Fat Stack of Comics, DJ Links, and Legion of Comics Mark over there who put that together. Jerry Lewis, yep. So we are going to be donating some books personally for the Comics Curing Cancer Avenue. We're going to send those out here soon. But what can you guys do? One of the most important things that everybody can do is talk about it. Talk about Comics Curing Cancer. Share the links. We're going to be having all the Comics Curing Cancer links down below in every live stream going forward. I have to add them to last night's video, and I have to add them to tonight's video yet. The Rob's Fat Stacks of Merch store, all of the proceeds or the profit is donated to Comics Curing Cancer. So you can order Comics Curing Cancer t-shirts, hoodies, coffee cups, pint mugs, you name it, and anything earned is going to go to that American Cancer Society. And we have that link. That link will be in there. That'll bring you directly to the American Cancer Society page, where if you want to donate directly through there, you can. You don't have to wait for the event. And one of the greatest things that happened last year because of the goals that reached, it really legitimized the drive and the run for Comics Curing Cancer. And now anytime that something is auctioned off, that receipts and everything is all done through the American Cancer Society. You're donating directly to the American Cancer Society for that item. So it works out pretty good. I need to talk to you about something about getting a set of Punisher cards, perhaps trade for a 90s. Okay, interesting. I tell you what, man, after opening one box, I completed that set at least 2 or 3 times over. It's a 90 card set, and it's a 48 pack box, and there's 10 cards per box. So there's 480 cards, and the set's only 90. So we can definitely talk about that and trying to put together another full set or close to it. We only got 2 hits out of that box. Yeah, I just ruined the surprise for the rest of the shorts, but there was 1 prism and there was 1 scratch and sniff, and that was it. But we have another box here. I'm just debating whether to crack it and do it, because that's another 48 shorts to do for a set that, I'll be honest with you, is actually kind of a boring set of cards. They could have done so much better. It was a really, really missed opportunity with Guts and Gunpowder for the Punisher in 1992. That there's a lot of killer Jim Lee art that they missed out on. There's a lot of opportunities. They could have done so much more with the prisms. They could have done so much more with the scratch and sniffs. They could have done something else. But back then, that ingenuity really wasn't there. That creativity really wasn't there like it is now with the chromes and with the parallels and with the numbered sets and all this others. You know what I mean? You set a box of donations already, thinking about sending more. There you go, man. That's how everybody can work together, donating items. But also, again, think phone tree. If 4 people talk about Comics Curing Cancer tonight to 8 other people, then that 8 turns to 16. And hopefully that 16 turns to 32. And 32 turns to 64. And kind of that phone tree effect. Hopefully we can get that message to continue spreading. It was comic images. None of their stuff was that great. Yeah, that's true. That is a very good point. That publisher / creator of that set, none of their stuff was really that great. There are much better Punisher cards and the Marvel Masterpieces and other Marvel sets that came out. And if I can stumble on a box or two of some of those Marvel Masterpieces, those other ones, I really wanted to get into pack ripping some of that stuff in the past, but I just bad timing. Those cards got expensive fast through COVID and through all the additional money being printed and putting out into the system, that those cards started going fast and the prices were going up. And now it's like, I don't really want to know. I don't really want to spend $150 to $200 on a box of cards to crack on a set that I'm not too sure I'm going to keep yet. Like, it's one thing if I go out and buy the new Star Wars stuff, because there are some very expensive hits, but a lot of these older sets don't have those expensive hits to kind of recoup that cost, if that is what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Trying to make the hobby kind of pay for itself a little bit. $200 into the hole for a box of cards, more than likely you're just going to be $200 in the hole. But there's that opportunity where if you score a decent enough hit, you can get that $200 back. Throw it up on eBay, kind of get your money back. That's kind of how it goes. But yeah. So we've done the announcements. We have more content coming out soon. I can't wait. And more big plans coming out this fall. And we're going to be there for Comics Curing Cancer and sending a box their way. We'll go through the books one more time for any of the late people here. I'm looking for some of those usual latecomers to see them in the chat. And if you guys are here lurking, we're just going to go over the books one more time really quick before we call it a night. We got Walking Dead Deluxe issue 70. I love reliving this series issue by issue every time, and it's not that expensive to do it. $3.99, $8 a month, 2 issues per month, $8 total a month to relive this issue to issue. Kind of love that. House of Slaughter 17, stacking that to the reading pile, still about 3 issues behind on that. Darth Vader 38, Dark Droids. This event has been fun. This has reinvigorated my gumption, if you will, to raid an event. Or this, I don't even know if you want to call it a crossover. It's just kind of an event. Yeah, they've got a list and they've got titles in there, but I don't feel like I'm buying a ton of crap that I don't want to read to keep up with an event. This has been fun. Dark Droids issues 1 and 2 were fun. Darth Vader 38. This Darth Vader run has been great. Pack, Soul, come on. Some great writing going on. Soul's writing the Dark Droids. Good stuff. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to want to keep up with this Dark Droids event. We got the connecting cover for all the droids. We've got the Clone Wars 15th. I think it's 15th anniversary. It should be 15th anniversary of this Padme. We've got only 7 more to go. 33 of 40 for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. Still a cool cover. I just don't need 40 more cool covers that are just cool. You know what I mean? Obi-Wan won, and then you're like, Andy, why did you buy it? At that point, I was so knee deep into that set or that run of covers that I'm like, it has more value if I complete it and get all 40 and put them on eBay or trade them to somebody than if I only had half of them. You know what I mean? That's kind of the idea. Obi-Wan Kenobi won cover 8. Obi-Wan Kenobi won the variant cover, like the movie variant. Then we've got this cover variant. These are all cover price, which is phenomenal. But then, like I said, this one has a 1 in 100. Why are we doing a 1 in 100 on Obi-Wan Kenobi? It's because they want money. And that's because it's the simple answer. But yeah, we did get a ratio variant. It's the Obi-Wan Kenobi 1 first comic book appearance of Riva. So the 1 in 25 for $20. Yeah, I'm grabbing it. I'm supporting my LCS. It's not that large of an investment. And we stayed in budget. We definitely stayed in budget. And if you're here a little bit late and you want to know why we stayed in budget, it's because we blew out the budget right after this and spent way too much money on store exclusives. Mike Mayhew released 2 phenomenal Star Wars books, and that Ahsoka cover is a standout cover of the year for us as Ahsoka fans. So that's what we went with, and we ordered 2 sets. I cannot wait to get those in as those things come in. New Comic Book Day Wednesdays here, where we're going to be, where we're going to share those books and those unboxings when we kind of get them in there. Like, we're not going to do the old school unboxing the whole book, but we're going to add them to the stack of books to talk about when we get those in. Like we talked about not too long ago, the Star Wars Clone Wars newsstand variants that we picked up and we've been finding occasionally here. We added those to the stack, so we'll keep doing that on New Comic Book Days. And Daymare says, I've got several sets of different sets, all the Valiant series, all the inserts, and a ton more. Like, have complete sets, especially the smaller ones. I'm sure Daymare's has got just about everything. I think Daymare's and I are basically the same person, except for Daymare's didn't get rid of his stuff when he was collecting. I fell victim to the trade everything in for pennies on the dollar for beer money in my 20s, and I unfortunately am missing a lot of that stuff. But that being said, that's New Comic Book Day. Thank you, everybody, for all the great energy. Thank you for being here and spending your time. And if you're watching this on the replay, don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit thumbs up. And don't forget to check out Comics Curing Cancer, that event, and mark your calendars for the 20th to the 22nd of October. And you guys know how we're going to do this, right? We got the last comments coming in. Bet have a good day. The Mets win. There you go, man. 7-0. You got rid of all but a short box. Oh, not quite. Either way, yeah, maybe we are the same person, Daymers. Either way, you guys know how we're going to do this, right? I look forward to seeing you guys again here in another day or two. We'll be back with Comic News Weekly next week. We'll be back with New Comic Book Day on Wednesday as well. And we'll be still dropping shorts content through the night tonight and tomorrow and through into the weekend. You guys know how we're going to do this, right? We're going to go peace out. We're going to go pinkies out. We're going to catch you on the flip side for the next one. Remember, the most important part all day, every day. Stay original and take care of each other because we are all we have. Have a good night, everybody.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.
Excuse me while I change. The holler boogie has made me sweaty. Yeah, sweaty.
Double up, double up, double up. The money I call up, call up, call up, call up.